When an FBI investigation laid bare an alleged scheme by some Hollywood A-list celebrities, business executives, and other wealthy individuals to pay hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to get their children into elite colleges and universities, many people felt outrage and betrayal. Now, Harvard assistant professor Anthony Jack is shedding even more light on this admission scandal and its lopsided practices. The professor's new book is The Privileged Poor: How Elite Colleges Are Failing Disadvantaged Students. And he joins me now with insight into the admissions process. Anthony, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I gotta say, first off, The Privileged Poor, just the beginning title of the book really sort of gets at the misunderstanding that I think a lot of people have when it comes to not only low-income students, but of course that tends to be synonymous with students of color getting into elite universities.
Yes.
Was that intentional?
It was intentional. The Privileged Poor is my motivation for exploring the overlooked diversity among lower income college students. Because when you think about lower income students, you don't think about Andover Academy, Exeter, Deerfield, Choate, like these elite boarding schools that cost over $50,000 a year for high school.
Wow.
This is where lower income students are going thanks to programs like Prep for Prep, A Better Chance, the White Foundation, WIGHT, and other programs. You have to say it because you know.
I was like, they have a whole foundation anyway.
These programs put lower income students into private schools. So and I came up with the term because they're economically disadvantaged. They come from often single parent household, live in subsidized housing, were on food stamps or the equivalent, but they had access to elite environments. The top 1% in their schools too. They study abroad in high school. They've been taught by PhDs, so they're privileged in the sense of how much access they have to cultural capital, right? Those taken for granted ways of being that colleges value. And I also wanted to put it together because I want people to ask the question, how can someone be both privileged and poor? And I want people to actually understand that that is part of the first generation college student story.
You talked a lot about like the academic aspect of it, but what does the social impact have on the kids? How does that change them? Because sometimes coming as an outsider into what seems to be a very hermetically sealed environment like the 1% can be daunting.
Absolutely. And it's important, what I'm showing is what we have typically associated with culture shock and going to college, those students experience that in their freshman year of high school. And what's important about that is I actually argue that it's the social undercurrents of elite institutions that are the biggest hurdles to lower income student success therein, right? Because it's the language that we use. The example that I use all the time is office hours, right? If you've never been on a college campus, or if your parents or whoever you live with didn't go to college, you probably have never heard the term office hours before. Yet it is thrown around campus without any explanation. Professors say my office hours are Wednesday 2 to 4, and they stop, full stop. They don't say what office hours are. They don't go the extra step of explaining how this very, very class term is really the gateway to letters of recommendation, internships, introductions to different people like headhunters and different resume help. So we have a lot of taken for granted assumptions about what students know and are comfortable with because we have it based upon wealthy students because we are so used to educating them.
Of course, and then like you were saying, it's not just getting in, it's having the support network to be able to stay in once you get in.
Absolutely.
So is this something that you were seeing with these students that you were looking at with your book? Something that perhaps should be expanded more on a national stage, or is it a matter of improving the level of public education that kids are getting, period, so that some of these understandings just become ubiquitous across the country?
It's more the latter. And putting poor students in the private school, that's not social policy. That's abdicating responsibility. To me, in my view of things, because what the research to me shows, the larger story, is that when you give lower income students the resources of their top 1% peers, they succeed at the same rates. They do just as well socially, making use of all the resources like Career Center, study abroad, mental health services, which we actually should elevate into our conversation and put them on the same pedestal as getting an internship. Are you taking care of yourself so that you have the energy? I want us to not just graduate, but graduate whole and healthy, ready for the next adventure.
Of course. This sounds like, I mean, it's really a captivating book, and yet it sounds like it's really just sort of focused around a very simple principle of people rise to the occasion that you present them with.
In some respect, but also like what are the hurdles that prevent some from doing so?
Of course.
Right. Another thing I talk about in the book is food insecurity. And one thing that we think about with college students is like, okay, y'all are okay. Y'all good when y'all get to campus, right? And in the most basic ways, when 2 out of 5 students across the nation face food insecurity, not knowing where their next meal is coming from, let alone housing insecurity, which is on the rise among students across different groups, because it's not just lower income students who suffer. It's also students who are in the foster care system, students who are queer, students who are disproportionately racial minority, who have strained relationships with their family when they go off to school. So even though I study lower income college students, the impact is felt far beyond this. And so what I also focus on is not just the sheer magnitude of food insecurity, but the nature of it on specific campuses. On the campuses that I study, we see food insecurity happening around breaks, spring break, winter break, Thanksgiving break, because we assume that all students go home for fun in the sun. What if you don't have a home to go to? What if for you home and harm are synonymous? Going home, being forced to go home during spring break because most colleges close down, and the colleges that do open, a lot of them actually charge students a daily rate to either stay in their room or the room of their peers who are on vacation. Think about what that does to somebody. They're worrying about where their next meal is coming from, and their university is charging them a daily rate to stay on campus. These are some of the problems and why people can't rise to the occasion when they're dealing with things like that.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for this book, for giving us a different way to think about, especially how we consider not just education, but higher education and how we help people who are trying to climb up the ladder. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.